Hey, Pearl, how are you today? Hey, and here's Minnie. Look at that pretty flowers I just planted. What? Oh, you're right. I almost forgot. Another day of soul care.
Hello, everyone. Hi, this is James, and welcome to SoulCARE. Here we are today. I think it's April the 11th. Yes. Hello, Bella, Lofi, Stacy, Lofi. Hi, Lofi. Hi, everyone. Jama from Germany. Hello. Welcome all. Come on in. Pull up a seat. Let's have a conversation if you'd like. I was just going over notes for today's call and also for this evening's call on Both Sides Now and Beyond, which will be very interesting because we're talking about mental health, which will be very fascinating. Kelly White. And we're going to do an opening for this show, for the SoulCARE. So there we go. Because people come in from all over the world and it takes time to get on board. So to find your seats. So I'm going to do a little opening animation, just like we did Both Sides Now and Beyond, just so everybody has a chance to get in and on the site. Don't have to rush anything, but notification, by the time they get the notification and come on, it takes a little time. So we're going to create a little opening for you. It'll just be me, my animated part of me. Hi, Shauna. Hi, Kathy O'Brien. How are you? Ann Rogers, hello. From United Nation. Fantastic. Danielle, you're from Liverpool, England. Love it. I've never been to Liverpool. I've driven around it, through it, actually, but I've never actually stayed in Liverpool. I did a tour in England once, in the UK, and went right around it, went to the northern part, and went out to, was it Lancaster, and all the way up north, and came back down, but I'm not through Liverpool. Hi, Jared Peterson from Jerome, Arizona. Been to Jerome, an old mining town, which is very fascinating. And that was one of the places I found very haunted, Jerome. That hospital they used to have there. It's pretty a pretty hotbed of activity, Jerome, Arizona. Hi, Susan from Ireland. How are you? And hello, Dixie from Nova Scotia. Yes, Valerie from New Jersey. Hello. Colorado, Alyssa. Catherine Murphy. Hello, Ireland. Yes, I was just looking at my photos I had from Ireland taken about 5 years ago, probably. And I had birthday, and I was teaching a class over there, and my Irish people, and it was just the best. A lot of fun. Hi, Laura. Good to see you again. Your name? Live near the cemetery. Oh, you live near the cemetery in Jerome. Yes, I was by that cemetery in Jerome. It's a trippy town, Jerome. It's right near Sedona, everybody. So, yeah, it's a pretty amazing place. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Judy Nelson. Gina was just in Jerome. Amazing. Yes. Good. I'm for those who are asking or wanting to know my next event in person, I'm going to be in Peekskill, New York on April 23rd. There are tickets for the event. There are still seats available, I believe. They've sold about 700 seats in a theater in Peekskill, New York. It's my only live event right now on the books for the year. So that's it for right now. So if you want to go to that, there are still tickets available. Just go to eventpark.com events and buy your tickets. And I hope you're enjoying my new website. It's really, really nice. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. If you could, you go on there and just give me some feedback on it. I'd really appreciate it. Working on that for 2 years now. So it's all done. It's very pretty. I'm just curious to see what you guys think. I really appreciate your feedback all the time. And it's under my name, James Prague, eventpark.com events. There you go. So that's the next big thing is a live evening with Spirit Messages at Paramount Theater. That's April 23rd. That's a Saturday. And I'll be at Peekskill, New York. It's a great town, a really nice Hudson River town. So that's really good. Over the next few days, I'm also going to we did some Zoom calls. I'm going to add some Zoom events because a couple of them sold out already. So I'm going to add some more. So I'll be working a lot this coming year as far as Zoom events. That's one of the things I want to tell you guys about was that I'll be doing a lot of readings online, and that's going to happen. I'm going to do more and more of that. So every week there'll be an event for that to happen. And I'm also looking for some other types of different things to do with you. And I'm also going to be working on some books and things like that. So And then Mediumship 1 starts again in a couple of weeks, so that'll be fun. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about, about a little bit of I thought I'd answer some general questions that you might have regarding the spiritual work or any aspect. If you keep it general, that can help everybody in the room. That'd be great. I'd be more than happy to do that. So Renee is here with me, and Renee is going to help me pick some people out. There you go. And we should give really a big hand to Renee, who's done a lot of work behind the scenes for many shows here we've had. Thank you, Renee. So good. Oh, Syracuse, New York. Wade, you should come. You should come to over the Pig's Kill. That'd be great. Chicago, Patty. I love Chicago. How often do I receive readings myself? Deb asks. I don't receive readings that often, actually, but I do. Many times I test people for the website, and that's when I get my readings. But we'll see. There's a couple of people that I've heard are incredible, and I would like to see about that. So we'll see what happens. Oops. Okay. So how do we hear more spirits? How do we know? Okay, this is Angela. How do we hear more messages from our spirit team? By sitting down and learning to quiet the mind. I was just talking about this this very morning with a lady. It really is a matter of stilling the mind, stilling the voice within, stilling your mind and being at peace and surrendering. Surrendering is a big part of mediumship. And when you learn to surrender, then you're able to, if you will, look at it this way, that around us is this wonderful space. And that if we open up that space, and it's like almost opening up the window or opening the shade and opening it up for the sunlight to come in. And when we do that, it gives the spirit world the space to come into and be able to communicate with us and impress us with thoughts and feelings and memories. But if we don't give them that space to work, we can't hear from them. So we have to do the work, our due diligence, to really open up that space and be still. And that's through meditation. That's through, I talk about this all the time, about sitting in the quiet. So Mediumship 1 is, we're just going to sell that in a couple of weeks, just after sale. I go through techniques of learning to sit with your spirit team. But the most important thing is learn to surrender and quiet the mind. Okay. Debbie Gomez, can you speak a little about detachment as a way of keeping yourself from absorbing or taking on energy that isn't in your highest good? Low vibes. Okay, Debbie. Well, let me put it to you this way. I think everything is love. I think everything is energy. Energy are molecules and electrons that vibrate or move at a certain speed. And I think that love is the fastest vibratory rate of energy. I do believe that. I think that's what we're made from. I think fear slows it down. Fear slows everything down and blocks a lot of love. And we as souls, of course, the mind is part of the soul. The soul is the mind. And we create with our thoughts. So we can create anything we want with our thoughts. We can create love. We create fear. We can attach ourselves to various situations in our life experience that to us may feel important, or we can put expectations on other people that we want them to be a certain thing that they're not. We can get caught up in all these sorts of things. I'd say the most simple advice, the best advice I'd give is keep things simple. Keep things simple. Really, just like life, it's that KISS concept. Keep it simple, stupid, right? KSS. Keep it simple, stupid. My friend Lynn told me about that. Lynn Probert, keep it simple, stupid. And it really is about life, keeping things simple. Don't overdo it. People get caught up in the complexity of the simplicity. It's really being simple. It's stepping back and being objective, have an objectivity about people and patterns and situations. And when you are able to do that, and really, number one, have a relationship with yourself and know who you are, to thy own self be true. If you know who you are, and aware of that self, and not always trying to get better or do this, but just being who you are. That's the number one step. And really not caring what other people think of you, because what other people think of you is none of your business. You can't live for other people. You got to live for yourself. And you got to treat others as you want to be treated. That's it. But you can't have unrealistic expectations on other people, because they may be at a certain level of understanding or awareness that you're not at. They might be in a very different world than you are. And we can't expect that. The one thing we should expect, and we can, is how people treat us is really a sense of, if you will, for me anyway, from my point of view, it should be they treat us with respect and responsibility and integrity. And if they don't have responsibility for what they say or things they do and disrespect you, I think it's okay to remind them in a gentle way that that's disrespectful. I don't accept that. I had to do that a couple of weeks ago with family members and friends, and sometimes you have to let go of people in your life that don't support you, that don't that disable you, if you will. And that's really what it's about. So it's not necessarily you can absorb. So if you think in your mind you can absorb negative energy, then you can. But to me, it's really more in control of who you are as a person. And just because that's negative energy, doesn't mean you have to be careful of it and wear armor around you. I don't buy that. I think it's fear-based or love-based. And I think if you be in an objective space, that will really, really help you. So that's what I say. Don't get caught up in the fear. Remember, FEAR, false ego appearing real. So, and it's so interesting because you're going to be told all different types of things from television shows, or movies, or books, or people, and I think that you've got to be your own judge and jury. You've got to be your own, have your own sense about what feels right for you, what resonates as truth to you, and what doesn't. And I don't care who the person is, teacher is, or whatever it might be. If it doesn't feel right to you, then throw it out. If it could be a spiritual teacher, it could be me, it could be other people. If it does, just because they're in that position doesn't mean it's right for you. So you have to what resonates as truth to you. Okay. And don't get into what we call judgment space, which is fear-based. Judgment is all fear-based. Judgment to me is also insecurity. So you want to remain neutral, objective, live simply, and live from love, not fear. Okay, it's a long answer to that, but I think most of you got it. Thanks, Debbie. Hi, Petra. Hi, nice hugs. Thank you from Zagreb, Croatia. Bless your heart. Thank you, darling. I had some books in Croatian. Yeah, I know a lot of Croatian people. Very good. Thanks, sweetheart. Dawn, Strella Solomon, do you have recommended mediums? I do have recommended mediums. They're on my website. My website is vanprog.com, and they're under practitioners or resources. And that's who I recommend on my website. Those people I would recommend highly. And that changes, depending on new people coming in. But they're really the ones I'd recommend. Those are the only ones I'd recommend. And just because of mediums on television doesn't mean they're very good. So be aware of that too. The best mediums I've known is ones that are, the little old lady sitting in their kitchen with a teapot, or real natural and high-minded. Not necessarily someone who's been around or you've heard of, but sometimes some of the best mediums are those natural people who just stay with the earth and very earthly like. Yeah. Yvette. Hi, Yvette Nunez. Hello, I'm from Venezuela. Oh, lovely. Nice to meet you. Now in Panama. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? I have an amigo that's from Venezuela. I was talking to last week. So great. Is your VIP with only 70 invites going to be online? It's online. See, it's online. And we're doing another one because it's sold out very quickly. So we do that again. So the tickets will be available for the next one in a few days. Okay. I'm going to get all organized with it. Hi, Linda. What are your definitions of spirit guide, angel, and higher self? Okay. So good to see you again, Linda. I know your picture. So when we talk about spirit guide, angel, higher self, it's a hard one. And the reason why it's a hard one is because we place a physical three-dimensional description on something, which we want it to fit into a box, which doesn't necessarily fit into a box, right? So a spirit guide, well, it could be a being of light, a being who's passed over, a family member of yours, someone you knew, someone you might not have known who's passed the other side, who chooses to, if you will, come close to you in the spaces around you and transmit, send, impress, assist you in kind of bringing out the best parts of your soul aspects. There are all different types of guides. I've written about this in many of my books. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to do the audio recording. I'm actually for 3 days going to sit down into a studio tomorrow and record wisdom from your spirit guide. So it's interesting you asked that, but that's tomorrow. I'm starting to do that, the audio. I'm recording that. So I'll be talking a lot about the subject. So very good. So a spirit guide, so it could be a guide, a being who has never touched the earth. It could be a guide that comes to you depending upon the type of work that you're involved in. So let's say, for instance, you're going to get involved in, let's say, because studying to be a lawyer. I don't know why I just pulled that, but so you might have someone from the spirit side of life who might have been an attorney here or might know about these things and comes to impress upon you those aspects of yourself to come out and shine. Same thing for spirituality. When I was a medium, I had many chemists, doctors, chemists, nurses to work with the endocrine system when I was developing, and also had a couple of mediums, old time mediums, and then I had some other people who were from theatrical backgrounds, because I asked them why would they be a spirit guide of mine. They said, well, we want to bring out the creative energy because that's what mediumship is. It's using that creative energy. So that was interesting. And I do have parts of me that are all different musical. I can sing. I do music. I can do design things, and so there's a lot of different things. So an angel, one angel. Well, again, I don't want to get too limited with the definition here, but angel can be a being, a highly evolved being, a light being. Could be. There's all different spaces and places, a world within worlds within worlds. There are many, many galaxies, millions of galaxies of beings that look nothing like humans, beyond the humans. So the humans are kind of like the lowest rung on the ladder, they say. So they're much more aware, we could say, more enlightened, if you will. Your higher self. Well, to me, the higher self is that, like I talked about before, you heard me talk about this, Linda, because you've been with me, that this body is, I always say, like 30% of our soul, with 70% above us, and out there is more of our soul. That's really who we are. So the higher self, to me, consists of the higher being, the higher aspect of our being. And that's really the way I would say it. The one experience I had with that was I was in Brazil once, and I did a tour with a group of people down there. And I remember I was taking ayahuasca tea. I tried that. This is about 25 years ago, before I was known in ayahuasca. And that's what I saw. I know it was my higher self. I saw this being with beautiful blue eyes, mustache. There you go. It was wearing a gold turban. And I remember that was my higher self. I said, oh, I just knew it was a higher aspects of my being. So those are the definitions. Hopefully that'll answer what you think. But remember, to put three-dimensional applications in a seventh dimension, it's difficult to do. Okay. Thanks, Linda. Sandra. Hi, Sandra Crabboard. Hello, can you talk about closing down after a meditation? So closing down after meditation, which means, I guess, that the mindset, you want to make sure the mindset is back to your physical body. So when we do a meditation, or we can call it an altered state of consciousness, right? Putting ourselves just altered state of being, which, by the way, we're usually in throughout the day at many different levels and times. So when you're are aware of putting yourself into an altered state, that you actually are there and you're a participant and you're creating this altered state, your awareness is going to go into a level, or an awareness, a more expanded awareness, we can say that. And so we become much more aware, expanded, sensitive, if you will, to the space around us, the world around us even. And we could become more aware of our emotional selves at that moment too. So when Sandra talks about come back to the after meditation, I think it's really just at the awareness level. So bringing ourselves, the awareness of ourselves should always be kind of in our third eye, right? So when I close down, bring myself back to the awareness of the physical body, I think it's important that you realize, we all realize that we are souls having a human experience, not the other way around. And we have work to do down here. We got to do it. That's why we came back here. And there are a lot of opportunities here. And perhaps if we change the way we think, our opportunities would change as well. See, so I think we'd be very, very careful that that you become aware that you have to be back part of the human world, and that after an experience of that, just like at night we go to sleep, when your soul leaves your body and goes to the other side, in the morning you slowly wake up, you open your eyes, and you're into a level of consciousness of the physical being, right? So really, meditation is coming back into the awareness of the physical body. And what I do with that is before I begin the meditation, or as I'm beginning it, I'll often talk about you become aware of the body, you become aware of your feet, all the organs, the muscles, and let yourself go and relax and let yourself just take off, if you will. And then when coming back, I just bring people back to the breath. The breath is really great because the breath is the prana, the energy of life. So when you relax the breath and go, and when you come back in at the end, I think it's very important just to be mindful of the feet on the floor, your legs, your back, lower back, your shoulders, your stomach, your shoulder, your chest, your neck, your head, the physical body. Become aware of maybe the blood and all those things of physicality, that you're completely centered in your being. That's, I think, important, because you don't want to go through life just being spaced out all the time. Don't want to do that. Okay, I think that helps. Okay. Lynn King, can we heal ourselves? You certainly can, by your thoughts. You can heal yourself by your thoughts. You can break patterns. And I'm writing a blog today about this too, about breaking old patterns of things. So if we start to become aware of the patterns of what we've been doing and how we react instead of act, how we react many times, we become aware of what patterns are lived out. And sometimes we break those patterns by thinking about it differently, by breaking those patterns of thoughts and realize the bigger story that can begin to heal us. I'll never forget the power of the mind is very important. The power of thought is so important. Um, I was once with a nutritionalist back in Orange County, California, probably about 25 years ago. Had to be about 25 years ago, maybe 30. A friend of mine said, he's a great nutritionist. You should check this man out. I said, okay. And I went there in Irvine, California, I think it was. And this technician, this gentleman, took my blood and did some tests. And then I'm sitting there in this room with him. His back is to me and he's looking at a screen. And on the screen, there are my blood cells from the drop of blood. And so the slide is looking at it. And he's looking at the blood cells, and I can see it as well. And they're all glommed up together. And he said, oh, you eat chicken. Yeah, that's not good for your blood type. I said, how do you know that? He goes, well, I can see what it's doing here. I said, well. And he said, and then he mentioned some other things I was eating. Like, whoa. I said, how does he see that? Now, I do this work. So here I am seeing exactly what I talk about, how your thoughts are things. And it's right in front of me. So Spirit was giving me an incredible experience opportunity to see what I say is real. I thought, wait a minute, how could he know that? And then I just thought to myself, okay, I'm going to make this happen. I'm just going to make this happen. And I thought to myself of the word love and brought love into my body. I just love. And incredibly, on his screen, the cells started to open up, like move, separate. And they were all single file, with the light around each one. And they moved very slowly, like nice rhythm, perfect rhythm. And there was a beautiful gold aura around each cell. Because I thought of this love, bringing to the body, love. And the man, with that looking at me, of course, is back to me. He said, the most sophisticated communication system we have, huh? Yeah. So, yes, your thoughts control everything. Your thoughts control everything. Okay. Hi, Vivian. How can you best support someone who is transitioning? It depends on the actual situation they're going through. But for me, what I've done before, and a lot of people transition, is depending upon the stage of where they're at. I don't know if they're what stage they're at, but maybe a couple of weeks before, 2 or 3 weeks before, start talking to them about, I'm holding their hand too and playing some nice music they would like, reading them books or stories. And I tend to talk to them about their past, about memories from their past. What are their favorite memories? Or start mentioning people that they knew in the lifetime, names of their parents or best friends or partners or animals they used to have. And maybe if they can see, bring photographs and do it in a nice way. Do it like that. I do it gently, be very, very gentle. But that's the best that I have found. With it, take away the fear of death if you can. I think it was just a breath away. Everything's a breath. Breathing in and breathing out. You're breathing in, and the spirit goes. You're breathing out and release. And it's as easy as that, It really is. And breathing out. And that's what it's like. I'll never forget when I helped Debbie Ford pass over and transition. She asked me to help her, and I did. And I remember she was very much in her head and her thoughts that she didn't want to go. She was stubborn. And her sister said, can you help her pass? I'm like, well, I'll do the best I can. But she's a stubborn one, this one. So she was very stubborn, and she knew all this work. So it's very interesting. And I did a meditation. And I connected on that mental level with her. I was very aware of her. And I said, Debbie, why won't you go? Why won't you release? James, you said, I have an 18-year-old son. What's going to happen to him? And I said to her, you have a mother to take care of him. He's going to school. It's going to be all right. And she said, I just don't know. It's like I've been given keys to a car, which I don't know how to drive. And she was getting so caught up in the head. And I said, calm down, just breathe. Say it's like a feather. It goes like you're blowing a feather, and the feather just glides. And it's beautiful. Just think of the beauty over there. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz. You go to the Emerald City, and stuff like that really helped her. And she goes, "Are you sure?" I said, "I promise you, it's going to be okay." And she goes, "Okay." And then over an hour later, she passed, and not even near me. She was in a different town, different city. And her sister called me, and she said, I said, yeah, I know, because it was cold, freezing breeze in front of me, air, space, about 45 minutes later. And I knew she'd passed. And then her sister called me and said, I have some news for you. Debbie just passed. I said, yeah, I know. So it's just that, yeah. So that's the best thing, advice I can give. Transition. It's natural. We've done it millions of times, all of us souls. It's not the first time we've been around here, especially if you're on this page here right now or in this call right now. We've done this before. So you just, use your experience of passing from other lifetimes to your loved ones here. Good luck. Deb, come to Northwoods. I don't know what Northwoods is. Do you see visible energy? I do, but don't practice because it becomes so powerful. Well, that means you're afraid. That means negative. That's fearful. So I don't do the fear. I don't know what Northwoods is, Deb. Don't know what that means. Do I see visible energy? Sometimes I see a spirit in a physical form, I guess you could say. It's sometimes, yeah, rare, but I do. Welcome. Rachel Sandoval, what are the most common signs our loved ones that have passed on give us? Dreams. The number one experience that we can communicate with them is a dream state, because we're usually out of the physical body. We're in that mental state, if you will. We're out of the body, and we meet them in the spirit world, in that space over there, that we're able to receive. And it's more than a dream. I call them crossovers because it's so real. And it's just the mental mind, the conscious mind. We wake up, that conscious mind remembering it, that experience. We have them every night, but most of the time the conscious mind doesn't remember the part of things. But that's number one way. Another way is you might be in the shower, in a bath, or driving the car, or reading a book, or watching a show, and also you get a thought about them. You think about them, and I often want to say, have you ever thought that they're actually sitting right next to you, sending a thought to you? It's not you thinking of them; they're actually thinking of you and sending a thought. So that happens quite often, quite a lot. Okay. Renee went, when I give up other people's energy when I pick up other people's energy when they are stressed. Well, number one, okay, I get that. I often pick up that energy and end up with a stress headache. Well, that's not good. I have a great course on that, Tools for the Highly Sensitive. Check it out, please. Anytime I'm around someone who's having a negative time, I will immediately do the waterfall. I do a waterfall meditation right there, or I run my energy. So I look at running my energy, and I run all the chakra energies. I bring down the universal energy, the earth energy up to my heart, mix it together, and send out that energy. So it's almost like a water wheel, bringing up energy, bringing down energy, sending out all at the same time. So it's called running your energy. So I talk about that in that course as well. Tools for the Highly Sensitive. And then the waterfall is I just imagine I'm standing under a beautiful celestial waterfall, and any energies from other people that are around me, anything negative, goes down to Mother Earth, and it neutralizes it. Those work really well. And you're talking to someone who worked in Hollywood for a long time, and I do that every day before I entered the studio gates. So yeah, it works. And again, it's a mindset as well. So make sure you take care of that mind. Samantha, hi James. How do you slow down on the spiritual downloads of what courses to take when I feel what to do first? Breathing, Samantha. Samantha. I remember you, Samantha. So number one, just go to your breath. Get the same rhythm of your breath. Breathing in, let's say 3, count to 3. Breathing out 5. 2 counts to breathe out. Exhale by 2, and bring yourself to the center of your heart. And just if you want to write down the names of courses, or go repeat the names and what feels that they resonate within you. You can't do everything at once. I mean, I know several people like 3 courses, but I'd rather take one and really digest it, and get fully. You don't have to rush it. There's no sense of rushing your spirituality, no sense of rushing your development. It's more that you get the most out of what you're doing at that moment. So get the most out of each course. It might be a meditation course. It might be a certification course. And just because it's a certification course doesn't mean you need to take it. That is not for you necessarily at that moment. So take what feels right for you, sweetheart, at that moment, one thing at a time. And then, but after taking that one course, you might find that after taking that course, that makes you feel very, very differently. And then you'll be drawn to a different course than the one you thought of before. So I would do it that way, one step at a time. Don't rush it. Lots of love, Samantha. Good to see you. Susan Reed, do you need to protect yourself before opening up? Of what? Protect yourself from what? So I don't know about that. I don't believe necessarily in opening up. I just, and over the years it has changed too with me because I never, I always think like, what am I protecting myself from? It's just love. And I think the humans create fear and humans create all that stuff and negativity. And I mean, I know because the show Ghost Whisperer and we're forced to create something people are scared of to bring them onto the show. And it's like, oh, but I think humans create so much with the mind and the imagination. I think that really you got to be fearful of yourself. Your own mind is really the way it is. I don't think any people you give your power away to other people. It's not smart to do. Got to be again know yourself first. Know yourself so their own self be true. Okay. When someone passes, they're intoxicated. They arrive on the other side disoriented. Sometimes, and my experience has been that sometimes they do. It's the mindset that they. I've experienced that with spirits who had drug overdoses, seriously, or car accidents. Believe it or not, and sometimes they do. Again, it depends on the individual experience. Some they do. Sometimes I can't say generally overall that's it because I can't generalize like that. But there have been instances for sure when that's happened. But you remember the spirit world is always around them and they're looking out for them. And they know what's going to happen before that happens, before they leave. The spirit worlds are very, very aware that this new soul is coming home. So they'll prepare for them accordingly. Okay. All right. One more, then I have to get going. So children that went to spirit world, do they grow up there? Yes. I have a book called Growing Up in Heaven, and it talks all about the different works that children do. Sometimes they need that experience of going through a school or going through them. That their soul needs to come out and express itself in different ways. So some they do. I can again. I don't want to say generally that they all do, but I found for myself that most of them do, even though their soul is beyond that. That they have that child experience on the other side. Again, that's my experience been. Yeah, so on tonight's show, Both Sides Now and Beyond, something really, really important we put up, Kelly White and I put up. It's about your mental self and spirituality. And a lot of the questions you've been asking about closing yourself down or opening yourself up, it really is about the mental state. So tonight's show would be great for everybody here to watch that because it's really about your mental health and about, how can you deal with things at another level of awareness if you're not together here? So we'll talk all about different types of mental health, people that come back with mental problems, physical problems, emotional problems, physical problems. So that's all tonight's show. So yeah, so there we go. Well, thank you, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you tonight. And Renee, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all again. And I'll see you in school too, or go to the website,